And how are y'all doing today, my little Gerald? See, look what I did there. You thought I was going to say some noodle pun. Look, times are changing, I'm changing, we're changing. As you see the video. Normally for Spooky Scary Sundays, I would react to a Corey video, but I want to try something different this Sunday. Let me know what y'all think about this. SCP-3812. For those of you that don't know, SCP is a secure, contain, protect. It is basically a collection of online short horror stories. Sometimes they're really sweet, sometimes they're really fucking scary. A PK class scenario, if I'm not mistaken, it is a end of reality scenario or end of world scenario. I'm not too sure. It's been a while since I've been out of the SCP lore. This is one I'm not familiar with. That's why we're reacting with it. I am pretty familiar with the SCP lore as a whole. Pretty extensive lore, and I just really want to watch this, man. This is so... I'm always interested in the world-ending SCPs, you know? Like, how does it do it? Especially the reality SCPs. I think PK class means reality. I'm not sure. I think. But without further ado, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. I say this now because this probably is going to go up unedited. Let's get to it.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
My name is Dr. Miller. And
Hi, Miller.
The SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-3812.
Oh, also, if y'all don't have y'all snacks ready, because this is a long video. This is probably going to be a long video. Get your snacks ready. Get like some chips, man. You got some chips around the house? Some Pop-Tarts? Fuck it. Grab dry cereal off the fridge. I know you got some, bro. You probably ain't got milk, but you got cereal.
Containment class, Keter.
Ooh.
Disruption class, Eki.
What is that?
Risk class, Danger.
The fuck? What? Ooh. We're getting...
Special containment procedures. SCP-3812 is currently only partially contained.
What?
See containment proposal brief below for more information. Keter class containment proposal brief. SCP-3812 is to be constantly monitored by Mobile Task Force Ganymede 66,
Gotcha.
Starlight Knights, who are to maintain a 5-kilometer quarantined area of exclusion around SCP-3812. The acting Mobile Task Force GY-66 team lead, in conjunction with Site-86 research staff, is allowed fiat authority in regards to any aspect of SCP-3812's containment. Special care must be taken in order to prevent unnecessary exposure to SCP-3812.
Really?
Current containment efforts focus on mitigating SCP-3812's influence on population centers, as well as research into the full breadth of SCP-3812's anomalous capabilities in order to establish a more comprehensive containment procedure. Information security teams are to monitor all forms of digital media in order to prevent widespread awareness of SCP-3812.
Well, we're all fucked. I fucked y'all. I'm sorry, bro. Not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Don't take that out of context, bro. Especially y'all that are below the age. Look, bro, I'm not Chris Tyson, okay?
SCP-3812 has an active, aggressive, anomalous influence on reality. SCP-3812 is capable of altering events throughout time to prevent its containment.
Alright. I don't know if y'all know. Y'all know the scene in JoJo's where Polnareff goes up the stairs and Dio keeps teleporting him back down to the stairs, and we find out later it's actually because of his stand. He just moves him down the stairs. You know, the world stops time for a split second. Dio uses vampire speed, moves him down the stairs, moves back up the stairs, unfreezes time, and he keeps doing it. That's basically what he's doing to the SCP Foundation to not be contained. That's...
Due to the nature of these
They could just do it on a whim?
alterations, it is highly unlikely that any individual affected by SCP-3812's anomalous influence will be aware that they are affected. It is highly likely that most
This is the shit I live. Oh my god, my skin is tingling. We're not even like we're like 2 minutes in, brother. I don't know if y'all are feeling this. I'm feeling something, and I ain't feeling okay.
Affected individuals no longer exist as a result of SCP-3812's influence, though any attempt to deduce how often this has happened would be speculative.
Oh. It keeps getting worse! Not only can it just enact its own will onto your free will without your own knowledge, but there's no telling how long it's been doing it. Are you actually acting on your free will by clicking the like and subscribe on this video? Or is SCP-3812 telling you?
Description.
You should be doing it by yourself, by the way.
SCP-3812 is a reality-altering entity. Due to
SCP-3812's
latent effect on reality, it is nearly impossible to describe SCP-3812 in any meaningful way. All that is known about SCP-3812 is that it was once Sam Howell, a non-anomalous African-American human being who is believed to have died in 1996. Sometime shortly after its death, SCP-3812 was observed rising out of its grave and disappearing. SCP-3812 was brought to the...
Bro, imagine being at bro's funeral! What do you tell the family?
Foundation's attention after its presence resulted in the demolition of an apartment building in Warsaw, Poland. Due to its anomalous capabilities, SCP-3812's appearance varies significantly, making it exceedingly difficult to track. SCP-3812 is currently located at the location on screen over the South Pacific Ocean.
Alright, I need y'all to do this. Somebody out there, I'm not gonna do it because I'm lazy, but somebody out there take a screenshot of this, go to that location for me. I need you to take pictures. We're gonna investigate real world style.
SCP-3812 exhibits signs of an extremely advanced Eichmann-Viter schizophrenia complex, specifically extreme paranoia, extreme dysphoria, extreme mania and depression, inability to properly perceive their surroundings, inability to discern the difference between the real and imagined, inability to differentiate between living and dead beings, inability to control expressions of emotion, hearing voices that are not there, seeing things that are not there, feeling or otherwise experiencing stimuli that do not exist.
So basically, from what I'm getting, for whatever reason, this guy has been Schrodingered. You know, y'all ever heard of Schrodinger's cat? Alright, rant time. If y'all, for those of you that don't know, I'm sure all of you have heard of Schrodinger's cat, and those of you that don't know, let me break it down for you. Isaac Schrodinger was a scientist. I can't remember when, but he proposed the idea of putting a cat in a box with poison. Peter, calm down. Let me finish. Now, to the observable eye, the cat seems to be dead because you just put it in a box with poison, and if it gets thirsty at any point, it'll just drink the poison and kill itself. But you have no way of knowing until you open said box. So Schrodinger basically said, since you have no way of knowing until you observe the cat, it is both in a state of alive and death. It is both alive and dead because you have no way of knowing without breaking the experiment itself, thus opening the box. You have to observe the cat in order for the wave functions to break, you know. I know a little bit of quantum physics. I don't know that much of quantum physics. Don't hit.
Etc. In the 20 years since SCP-3812 was initially discovered, these symptoms have grown steadily worse. Originally, SCP-3812 was responsive to questioning and sought help in managing its condition from...
So I'm sorry I'm pausing so much, but if you have a problem with it, bro, this is a reaction for a reason. There's a link in the description. But I have so much to say. This is so interesting. So, a reality warper that's just in a constant state of being Schrodingered through every possible conceivable like event. And this is like a human, by the way. So naturally, a human bestowed with godlike powers kind of fractures its mind when witnessing the unbelievable. And oh my god, this is terrifying.
From Foundation researchers.
Oh my god.
SCP-3812 became more isolated and withdrawn. eventually becoming entirely unresponsive and acting in erratic and unpredictable ways.
Unpredictable!
SCP-3812 is not able to accurately perceive the world around it, and will occasionally alter reality in order to diminish the discrepancy between how it perceives something and the way that something is in actuality.
That's why I was fucking afraid of. So, this is a reality warper, right? Scenario time! Scenario time! Oh my god! I'm sorry, I'm pausing. I didn't think to get this deep in and feel this much existential dread. This is like, what if God was one of us, and what if he was a mental patient? Holy shit. Cause think of it like this. You're walking down the street. Unbeknownst to you, 3812 is around. You have no idea. He's just witnessing reality, just trying to live a normal life as a guy. But he's looking at you and you're like, wait a minute. Last time you weren't that tall. You weren't even black. I don't even think you weren't even a female. You know what? This is not wrong. And he just wipes everything about you. He changes your sex. He changes your race. He changes your hair color without you even knowing. And because this is like, he can also enforce your will, you would have also just assumed the change entirely. Basically changing your entire being, wiping your slate clean, redrawing the character, and then putting it in your face. They're Disneying you. And you just accept it because there's nothing you can do to say otherwise. Oh my god!
Due to this, it is impossible to know how often reality has been modified.
Oh my god!
SCP-3812 has not created a clean alteration.
I'm gonna crawl in the ball.
Evidence of its influence.
I'm gonna go in the corner and crawl in the ball.
SCP-3812 is impossible to contain with any form of containment cell.
I bet
SCP-3812 will alter reality to remove the containment cell or move itself to another location, drastically impeding containment efforts.
I bet.
SCP-3812.
What? Stop trying to contain it. What are you gonna do? Leave it alone. Leave that nigga alone. Bro, I don't mean it because he's black, by the way. I'm black too. Look at the avatar. It's not just for show. But, oh my, you're finna piss it off.
Seems to subconsciously resist attempts at containment as well. Even if it is caught unaware, SCP-3812 cannot be tranquilized or amnesticized, as SCP-3812 will alter reality
naturally
to remove or eliminate any threats to itself or its freedom of movement. Because of this, current containment efforts focus on mitigating damage and expressions of SCP-3812 symptoms as opposed to outright containment. Over time, SCP-3812 has become significantly less humanoid in appearance, and is now only vaguely humanoid and occasionally manifests in a variety of shapes and appearances. Additionally, SCP-3812 produces a latent anomalous effect on local reality, specifically in the form of temporal and spatial distortions surrounding the entity. These distortions are occasionally accompanied by random violent outbursts that may dramatically shift or damage local space and time. What
do you mean, violent outbursts? Brother, what? The reality? Okay.
SCP-3812.
Basically, this nigga's the Beyonder, and if y'all don't know Marvel, if the Beyonder gets mad,
is usually docile and aimless, its random outbursts are invariably fatal to any living creature nearby.
I bet.
It can be extremely disastrous on a massive scale.
I bet.
If not properly contained.
But you can't contain it.
SCP-3812 manifested in its current form at its current location on July 19th, 2015. Addendum 3812-1. Interview. Note: the following is an excerpt from an interview with SCP-3812 in 1999. SCP-3812 was initially contained by Foundation personnel and questioned at Site-17, where it began receiving treatment for its mental disease.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
How are you feeling today? uncomfortable.
Oh.
Uneasy. Can you tell me why? There's voices, like usual. Things I can see, you know. The same. Is there something wrong? The things I see aren't going away.
Uh-huh.
There are more of them. Different. I know I sound crazy, but it's like I'm addressing a dozen people at the same time. And more every day. And it hurts pretty bad. I know I sound nuts. I'm sorry. It's alright. You don't sound nuts. We just want to help you get better. I don't know if you do, or I don't know if you can. In the story, you don't try to help.
This nigga's, he's aware, oh shit, he's aware, no, bro, no, he's aware of the story. Y'all know Deadpool, right? Deadpool Wolverine, great movie, just came out. You know how Deadpool just fourth wall breaks? That nigga basically referred to everyone. He referred to the story of SCP itself. The submission of this SCP itself. Oh, he's that kind of reality warper. Okay.
In the story.
In the story. What story? Oh.
What story? This is gonna sound crazy.
Okay. Break it down.
Yeah, I can see what you're thinking. I know you're afraid. You're scared of what I might do. And here in a minute, I don't know how to get it out of my head. How do I start to undo this? If I even can. I don't even think he can. Who is he? No, you can't see him. I can. I think he was above us at one point. And he's below me now.
That's such a fucking crazy... Oh, I'm scared.
Yes, I see.
I'm not putting on, bro. I wish it... Look, bro, I'm too shy. Maybe one of these days I'll turn on the camera. But hell, oh my God, I wish I could see. I gotta get more emotes or something, like something crazy.
I don't know what you did to me, but I'm pretty messed up. Man, if you can figure something out here, that would be great, because I really feel like I'm losing it. I'm scared too, man. You've got to do something, and you've got to help me out of here. Please, God, please. Who are you? It doesn't matter. I need to get him.
I'm sorry, I just have to pause to unpack some of that. That sent me... If the first part, like, just realizing how hopeless the situation was because he's such a powerful reality warper. Now he's realized the story, and I believe right now what he was referring to was the author of the submission. Because for those of you, like I said earlier, SCP is a collection of online web stories that are submitted to a website and then are peer-reviewed by other authors, and if they like your story, they'll add it to their universe. This is a story that was added to the universe. This nigga is so powerful, he realizes he's in a story and refers to his own author. Deadpool style. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe style. I'm referring to him. But think about that. Think about if you could actually... think about if you could feel yourself becoming above God. You can't. How do you fathom becoming so self-aware that you're above the God that made you? You're just dead. You just are. This just happened to him. Holy shit. And that because it happened to him, that's what mentally broke him. He became so aware and such information flooded into his mind that he just couldn't handle it. I can't handle it. I'm coughing. Fuck. He's affecting me. Help.
Addendum.
Oh my God.
2. Memo from the office of Dr. Yamamara regarding the 2109-2015 report on SCP-3812's behavioral instability and the implication of existential threats. From the office of Dr. Carl Yamamara. I usually don't lead into these things with hyperbole, so you'll have to take me at my word when I say that I believe SCP-3812 is the most dangerous anomaly on Earth.
Bro, he's a far beyond that.
And potentially in the universe.
There you go.
I know many of my co-workers would probably balk at me for saying that.
No.
And I've tried to reject the notion a fair few times myself, but we have a lot of evidence to suggest that I'm right. And that's really bad for pretty much everything.
Mind you, SCP, I know about this one. I don't know if we can cover it if you want, but like I pretty much know all there is to know about the Scarlet King. The Scarlet King is supposed to be the universal Satan of the SCP lore. According to Dr. Yamamoto, Dr. Yamamara, 3812 would just fucking body the Scarlet King. Like, you don't need 999. He would body the Scarlet King. What do? Goku argument. I'm a reality warper. You're not a Saiyan anymore. You're not the Scarlet King anymore. Your history is wiped. You're just a normal guy now. Because I feel like it. That's how powerful he is. It's unfathomable power, and it's scary. That's why he's fucking tweaking Yamamara.
James Coldman and Carlos Rzuski devised the Hume as a way to measure alterations in local reality.
I'm sweating thinking about it.
Reality benders have always been the foot-long thorn in our side, the one we really couldn't get our heads around. How do you combat or contain something that can blink you into non-existence?
Exactly!
Thanks to Dr. Scranton, we had the reality anchors, but they only worked half the time and were less than useless the other half. We didn't know how they worked, and we weren't using them right. This changed when we began to measure reality and compare it to a baseline. We found out that our reality anchors could be tuned and adjusted, and that not all anchors were the same.
Ooh.
It was a windfall for those of us who work in existential sciences. And suddenly, Type Greens weren't the same kind of boogeymen they had been in the past. I mention all of this to give context to what I'm about to say. Our equipment cannot detect SCP-3812. It's not a machine error.
Oh.
We've tested our equipment countless times, and it's always consistent. It's not user error. We've pored over and studied thousands of hours of logs from our tests, and it's all come up clean. We have checked and rechecked more times than I can count over the last few months, and the results are consistent. So far as we can tell, this means one of three things, and none of them are good.
Okay.
The first is that SCP-3812 has an extremely low Hume value, something that our equipment, which exists in a space with a much higher Hume baseline, wouldn't be able to detect. The problem with this is that it creates a false vacuum. We've been working under the assumption that our baseline is the absolute minimum. If it turns out that this thing exists at a much lower Hume value, then that means that there are lower Hume values than what we believed were the minimum, which means any day our entire reality could fall into that existence, and that would pretty much be the ballgame.
Oh my god.
The second option is that SCP-3812 exists at a much higher Hume value than anything we've ever tested. This would be pretty bad, as we've pointed our counters at anomalies that some would consider to be gods, and we've gotten readings off them.
Oh.
That being said...
Bro, don't tell me that, 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 don't tell me that. So, yeah, if definitive proof. Right there. If his Hume valve is higher than anything they've tested, plus, and this is also considering reality warping gods, like things that would be considered to be deities, actual deities from mythology. God's an SCP in here. Christianity, God is an SCP in here. I'm not joking. He's stronger than that. Christian God, Bible God, biblically accurate angel God. He's so much stronger than that. It's not even funny. That's the power level we're talking about right now. I'm not talking about on a religious standpoint. I'm talking about like that's, and it gets scarier. Because that power level has human emotions. It can get angry. It can get sad. It can project energy and it doesn't even know it.
Something with a hume value so high that it cannot be measured with our equipment would likely have already destroyed us. Since SCP-3812 hasn't done that, it's likely not this.
My brain's fried. I don't know what to say.
The last option is the worst. The last option is that SCP-3812 cannot be measured in humes, because it's doing something else. Whatever fundamental aspect of its nature that allows it to warp reality is not the same aspect as literally everything else we have ever come across. Scranton hypothesized that there might be higher and lower dimensions of reality, different levels of manipulation in the grand construction of the universe. The difference between manipulating a rock with your hands and manipulating a rock with an atom bomb. He called the thing being manipulated the narrative, and suggested that the narratives were stacked on top of either other, each creating the narrative of the narrative below it, and so on, until you reach some sort of dead space below them all. If that's the case, and SCP-3812 is legitimately a type green of some higher order, we are absolutely singular power to manipulate every facet of any and every aspect of everything we've ever encountered in the hands of someone genetically doomed by Eichmann Vita. It's a miracle it hasn't happened yet, even by accident. So far as we know, we can't kill it.
Duh! What the fuck? Of course you can't! You have no means! The only thing you can do is not piss it off.
So we either wait for it to die, if it even can, or continue to pretend we have some semblance of control over it until it shreds our universe like some sort of cosmic wood chipper.
Oh, fuck.
In truth, it's probably better for us that it's insane. It isn't capable of comprehending the kind of things that it could do to us. It just acts on impulse, and things change to fit those impulses.
That's a nice way of putting it, but fuck that, Yamamara. What are you talking about? What do you mean it's better for us that the cosmic entity, that nothing we do... And I'm talking about, this is a universe where God exists. He's real. He's walking around an SCP facility right now. And God, by the way, is also up there in reality warping. Like, there's absolutely... He only stays at the SCP Foundation simply because he wants to. Literally. That's all they can... God's one of those where, like, if I got out, there's nothing you could do to me. Send 682, I'll fucking atomize. What are you gonna do?
But since it's as locked in as it is, those changes stay local. Imagine if it got the idea in its head that it didn't like the concept of empathy, and suddenly empathy no longer existed.
Yeah.
We have evidence that suggests that may have already happened.
Oh my god!
Sparse texts and individual accounts of half-forgotten memories, all consistent with a dirty reality alteration, all point to the idea that as recently as the 1980s there was a concept, potentially even something as fundamental as an emotion, that no longer exists.
Bro.
An entire concept wiped clean from reality and the collective consciousness of all sentient beings, just like you'd wipe a bug off your windshield.
Oh my god, bro. I'm shaking. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm gonna start crying.
The point of all this, which I expand upon in the report, is that we need to start figuring something out about this one quickly.
What do you do? What do you do?
Every second we don't come up with a way to neutralize SCP-38...
What can you do to know? You don't piss that thing off. Do not. SCP Foundation, do not. And I repeat, do not piss this fucking thing off. You have a history of thinking you can control shit. Stop it. This thing is so far above what you're swinging at. It's above your heavy hitters that you're struggling to deal with, like the Scarlet King. The Scarlet King is nothing but a concept for him. He could know that for you. Work with him.
12 is 1 second closer to SCP-3812 becoming completely disassociated from its consciousness, and all of us getting tossed in the aforementioned proverbial wood chipper.
Truth.
Stay in touch. Call my office if you need any more resources. Follow any convincing lead you can, and communicate with each other.
Thanks.
We'll talk more soon. K. Yamamara, signing off.
Okay. What is this? Ew! Is she eating them with her ass? Why are they willingly getting ate with their ass? Ugh! Is that what y'all be watching for ads now? Don't sponsor me. What the fuck?
3812-3. Excerpt from Dr. Yamamara's report on SCP-3812's behavioral instability and the implication of existential threats, page 194, PK class, all-in-one existential pandemonium
Order for the warden.
event. An entity or force with access to higher energy, metaphysical dimensions would perceive our reality similarly to how we perceive the reality of characters in a comic book.
Yep.
And just how we are able to, at whim, change the story simply by telling it differently. This higher energy being would be able to effortlessly make alterations to not just local reality, but reality as a whole.
I'm not gonna pretend like y'all are dumb or anything, but for those of you that don't understand what that means, and I don't know how many I'm breaking this down to, but you know how when you flip a book page, it just turns to the next day? He could just do that. That's how he's like that. That's the level he's at. It's like the next day is like a page flip for him. He's reading each end, like, you know how he could tell the doctor, you know how you could tell that the doctor that was evaluating his emotions and like everything he was thinking, he read his emotions and his thoughts like a book, like you would read out of a character in a book. Dr. Yamamara said, in quotation marks, that's what he saw. That's what reality he's seeing, and he's not coping with it. Basically, we're dealing with Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, except he didn't go through the psychiatric thing. He just broke, and he's trying to deal with the power of a reality warper.
During the base.
So much information is flowing into his head at once. It's just incomprehensible.
Line and changing its most fundamental aspects. At the 2015 Foundation Summit on Existential Threats, Dr. Darius St. John hypothesized that such an entity, were it limited to a human intelligence without modification to allow for the perception of higher levels of reality, would suffer from an overexposure of narrative. This entity, when faced with this overexposure, might attempt to ease itself by collapsing all lower energy realities into something perceptible. The effect this would have on lower energy narratives would be catastrophic.
Yep.
As multiple realities became compressed into the same metaspace, they would not be immediately destroyed. Rather, their parts would become intertwined in such an incomprehensible way that not only would the ability for conscious thought be nearly immediately annihilated, physical space would become so compressed and broken that the boundaries between all lower realities would cease to exist completely.
Okay.
This chaotic state of all things, described as existential pandemonium, was the focus of Dr. St. John's proposal for the description of a new K-class scenario, the PK class, all-in-one existential pandemonium scenario.
I just have to take periodic breaks from this shit. This shit is so... So you know when your friend comes and tells you and tells you about a new recommendation for like manga, anime, comic books, etc., and like you're like, oh, so what's in it? And they give you like this kind of summary of the story, and parts of it might be kind of embellished, like, you know, like, yeah, and then the nigga Goku went like, and then like, but in reality Goku just dragon fisted him, and like your friend is just remembering shit differently from the and then it's not even like the Tapia movie. It's Fusion Reborn. It's like that. It really is like that. And I don't know how I'm just broken, bro. Keep going.
Scenario. This proposal was denied due to the scenario in question being purely speculative, and one would...
Shut the fuck up, bro. We're not... All we got is speculation. You're dealing with such a higher level entity that all you have is speculation. it can do things that the Foundation itself fundamentally has been trying to do for years and replicate, but still doesn't understand the properties of. It can just do it if it wants to, on a whim. Y'all have to come together, bro.
Require too many impossible things to occur before its inception.
Shut the fuck up.
Addendum.
That guy.
3812-4. Log of SCP-3812 alteration events. Note: the following is a log of events in which SCP-3812 in some way altered reality. Due to the nature of these alterations, the likelihood of the event having actually ever taken place is listed alongside the severity of the alteration in question. Notably, this log is incomplete and subject to change as more information is discovered.
I'm scared. This is good. We're halfway through. We're not even halfway, okay? This shit does so much.
Event date: 09/13/1997. Event description: SCP-3812 is observed walking across a stretch of desert in the American Southwest. A path of temperate climate is present along SCP-3812's travel path. This climate diminishes slowly over time. Severity of alteration: minor.
Yeah.
Event date: 03/01/1998. SCP-3812 passes over a road near Blythe, California. 3 cars approaching SCP-3812 are annihilated within 20 meters of SCP-3812. Severity of alteration: moderate.
Get out.
Event date: 12/12/1999. Event description: evidence suggests that SCP-3812 caused the disappearance of an entire island off the coast of California. No fewer than 200 individuals in Southern California have a vague recollection of such an island existing. And 14 people were unable to justify the disappearances of family members who lived in the area at the time. Additionally, a single ship moored to a dock is discovered at the bottom of the sea near where the island is believed to have been. Severity of alteration: severe.
He sunk an island.
02/16/2000. Event description: testing of determined that the entity exuded a powerful anti-metaphysical field, similar to the Foundation's Scranton reality anchor.
So even if you got another powerful reality warper, its just passive ability is, nuh-uh, nigga, not in my domain.
This entity was brought into contact with SCP-3812, which was located near the hospital. The entity had no noticeable detrimental effect on SCP-3812's abilities, and instead caused SCP-3812 to become violent, resulting in an explosion that destroyed the hospital. The remnants of SCP, later reclassified as SCP-239, were later recontained. Severity of alteration:
the remnants of SCP later reclassified as SCP-239. What SCP did you send? Alright, SCP-239. That's what we're gonna look at. What SCP did you send to it?
Severe. Event date: 1/1/2002. Event description: a powerful explosion is recorded in eastern Russia. SCP-3812 is present at the site of the explosion. No other information is available. Severity of alteration: severe. Event date: 05/29/2004. Event description: evidence suggests that for a period of 3 days, the country of Mongolia...
The country of Mongolia ceased to exist! I know it could do it, but just do it, bro. I know it could do it versus the ramifications of it just did it is so different. It's so different.
Has ceased to exist. While public knowledge of this event is functionally non-existent, a significant enough percentage of the local population with fractured memories of the event have given credit to this theory. Orbital models indicate that during this period, the Earth's orbit was dramatically affected by as much as 1.5%.
Oh no! It's affecting the Earth's orbits? Fuck. Fuck. Yamamara? I'm sorry. I slandered your name. I'm sorry, bro. Get this nigga gone. Get SCP-3812 gone. I want you gone, SCP-3812. I need you gone. I don't mean that in a hostile manner. I just, for self-preservation, brother. You're doing too much. At least be...
Severity of alteration, extremely severe. Event date, 09/02/2004. Event description. Records indicate that on this date, every human on Earth simultaneously heard SCP-3812 screaming and begging for help in their heads. It is unknown how this event was removed from the public consciousness, but no humans alive on this date appear to remember this event occurring.
So what's... I was gonna ask, does Class A amnestics actually work on this? Because it's a reality warper, right? So you would kind of think that the amnestics wouldn't even work. Unless it... Well, I guess it would have to actively be like, nah, the amnestics don't work. But still, that's... Huh.
Severity of alteration, moderate. Event date, 11/11/2006. Event description. During routine server maintenance, Foundation information security teams discover 56 broken employee database files, consistent with an improperly altered personnel database used in testing. The contents of these files are unknown. It is not known if these files correspond to individuals who were once employed by the Foundation. Severity of alteration, moderate. Event date, 02/28/2009. During an attempt by Foundation personnel to contain SCP-3812 using a newly discovered anomalous logic construct, SCP-3812 became hostile towards containment teams.
I need you to stop fucking with this thing. Please. Please stop fucking with him. Don't act like you got this shit under control. Please just calmly... Don't... Also, get all notions of trying to eliminate him out of your head. Because as long as you have notions of eliminating him, kill the niggas that want to eliminate him. Because as long as there is a notion of eliminating him, he will not go peacefully. Because he can read your fucking minds and the narrative of the book. Come on, bro.
No fewer than 62 Foundation personnel disappeared across 17 sites,
oh my
as
God.
well as a significant portion of local wildlife.
Oh my God.
The resulting explosion killed another 7 members of containment personnel and left a crater roughly 850 meters in diameter in the Canadian Yukon. In the wake of the explosion, SCP-3812 had disappeared, and SCP-2719 was discovered within the crater.
Is that the anomalous logical construct?
Severity of alteration.
I don't know about that one. That's going in the files too.
Severe. Event date.
The event date doesn't... You don't even know when this was recorded. Oh, okay. We're getting crazy now.
Unknown. Event description. A record recovered from a Foundation Deepwell information security vault indicates that at some point in the past, one or more governments discovered SCP-3812 independent of the Foundation and attempted to terminate it. As a result of these attempts, SCP-3812 swiftly removed them and any memory of them from the Earth.
And that right there is why you don't fuck with God. Don't fuck with shit that you can't understand. Don't poke the bear with a stick if you don't know that motherfucker can wield a 9mm. Because you thought shit was sweet with claws and shit until that motherfucker started blasting. You didn't know that bear had hands, did you? Stop fucking with the bear.
This record indicates that this event was followed by the activation of SCP-2000. No! Which SCP-3812 immediately severely damaged to impede its progress.
Oh my God.
Why SCP-3812 was unable to totally destroy SCP-2000 is unknown.
I don't know what SCP-2000 is. I just realized I got it confused with 3000. I don't know what 2000 is. Damn, we've been out the loop for a while.
But no other records of this event exist. Notably, shortly after the discovery of this record, it disappeared from the Deepwell archive. Severity of alteration, extremely severe.
Yes.
Addendum 3812-5. Event. On SCP-3812 was detected moving through a sparsely populated region in Paraguay towards a more populated region on the Argentinian border. As Foundation personnel moved to intercept SCP-3812, a series of unexpected phenomena occurred. These phenomena are listed below, in the order they occurred. 1935 HRS. SCP-3812 is attacked by a large number of local wildlife. SCP-3812 repels these attacks, but appears in some way startled. 1914 HRS. A massive sinkhole appears below SCP-3812, extending down an indeterminate distance. SCP-3812 falls, but is immediately returned to ground level, and the sinkhole vanishes. 1950 HRS. A large number of objects fall from the sky onto SCP-3812. These are later determined to have been tungsten rods.
Is the universe itself trying to combat this nigga? Oh!
Though the origin of them is uncertain. The rods appear to pierce SCP-3812's body, but upon further inspection simply disintegrate within half a meter from SCP-3812. After the first 3 rods fall over a 40-second period of time, they are accompanied by no fewer than 3,000 others that fall in rapid succession.
This is the universe trying to fucking... Hey, look. I might have fucked up in your creation. You gotta be deleted.
Each having the same result as the previous. Despite this being clearly visible from nearby towns, nobody outside of Foundation personnel appears to have noticed it taking place.
No offense, but if you
Shut up. You interrupted. I was immersed. You shut up. Shut up and sponsor me.
2014 HRS. Multiple incorporeal instances of SCP-3812 begin to fall away from the central mass of the entity.
What?
As if they were dying.
What?
SCP-3812 is unaffected.
What?
Each of the incorporeal instances becomes hostile to the main instance and attacks it.
What? So, different SCP-3812s came from different points of its timeline to fight it? Yeah, that doesn't... It's the author!
SCP-3812 does not initially seem to notice the instances, but eventually appears to look in their direction, causing them to disappear suddenly. 2019 HRS. An explosion occurs at the point in which SCP-3812 is standing. SCP-3812 is unaffected. Several other larger explosions occur immediately afterwards. As with the tungsten rods, this is somehow not noticed by the local populace. 2039 HRS.
It's either the author or the universe, bro. One of the two. The author is the universe, so I suppose it's one of the same. But hey, something just does not want this nigga to exist right now.
A gravitational anomaly, later determined to be a freestanding, stable, naked singularity, appears in front of SCP-3812.
Oh my god!
SCP-3812 passes through the singularity unfazed, which dissipates shortly afterwards.
Yeah.
For a period of 72 hours after beginning, additional anomalous phenomena occur around SCP-3812, all of which fail to kill SCP-3812. Eventually, local populations were evacuated and amnestics were given to witnesses. After this 72-hour period, SCP-3812 was observed to glow white momentarily, and then shift sideways, and then disappear. Immediately afterwards, the anomalous phenomena ceased. After a period of absence lasting 8 weeks, SCP-3812 reappeared at its current position above the South Pacific Ocean. Shortly afterwards, Foundation Overwatch Command received a message on a secure server, access to which is limited to overseers alone. The contents of this message are as follows.
A quick explanation in case you haven't caught on yet. Your world has rules. Physical rules that cannot be broken.
Yep.
You call them the laws of the universe, and they're what you study in physics,
Yep.
chemistry, etc. Those Those laws create the narrative of your reality, the unchangeable story that defines your existence.
Yep.
Once the laws are established and the ball is set in motion, it cannot be changed.
Yep.
I wrote the laws of your universe, and as such I created the narrative.
So it is the author. It is the author. It is the... So, you know the author versus stickman or author versus cartoon fights? That's literally what just happened. No! And he won! And he won! Oh, and he won! No!
This isn't the first time I've done this, but it was the first time I tried something like this specifically. I wanted to create something that, by definition, superseded everything.
Why would you do that? Motherfucker casually react. Motherfuckers in the studio. Yeah, and give him the power of matter manipulation. On what scale, though? Because you don't understand what that means for the narrative, nigga. That means that if he just has matter manipulation, why would he have conflict? You're a villain? Guess what? Now you're an orange. Annoying orange. Get out of my face. No powers. Literally, that's what... Why would you do that?
That superseded it. I wanted to see how many layers there are. If the stack of narratives really do go on forever upward, the mistake I made was when I didn't realize that by making him supersede everything that supersedes him, he's also superseding himself.
So you created a character that's strong as everything, that's stronger than everything that ever was and ever will be, but also he's strong. That makes him stronger than himself, but because he's stronger than himself, he will always get stronger than himself, so he'll always become stronger. So you broke him. Okay, cool.
I'm sorry. I think I've fucked up pretty badly this time.
You did whatever the fuck your name is.
I've tried everything I can think of, but I can't undo him. I don't really understand how.
You tried means within the reality. Nigga. How? Alright, so if you supersede if you create something that supersedes everything, which would also mean he would supersede himself, the only logical step would be to create something or an anomaly that can also be controlled, but supersedes everything. Like everything. Or an anomaly that just adapts. Adapts to every phenomena. You literally have to create Maharaga. The only problem with that is their resulting fight would destroy the universe. So, you fucked up. Big time.
Oh, but I think he's above me now. And
I'm sorry, y'all. I just fell on my chair. This nigga, the author said, I think he's above me. I was speculating before. I'm on the ground. I know you can't see me. Oh my god.
whatever is above me, too. Because whoever wrote...
Whatever's above me, too! No! So not only is he above just his author, he's above every author. So even if you want to come in and be like, nah, my SCP, nah, I literally wrote it that he's above everything. Why would you do? You the nigga on the playground. I swear to I'm crashing out. You the nigga on the playground that be like, my nigga Killer X1C superhero can beat Superman because he has the power of everything and he's super cool and he's so good and he's chocolatey fudge coated and he's I'm shut. Ooh, I'll break my monitor right now.
My narrative isn't happy about this. I don't know where he's at now.
Of course he's not. I think he exists in all of our realities simultaneously. All of them. So when he blinked out of existence, he basically knocked on his fucking author door and said, "Stop doing that shit, little nigga, before I blame your little ass." And it came back. He went on a week trip just to check his author.
Eventually, he'll either reach the top or just keep going, and neither option is good. I'm going to keep looking for some way to fix this. You should, too. B.
Addendum.
How are they gonna fix it? B, you fucked up so hard. B, you fucked up like you was trying to join the Mile High Club, bro. You fucked up, buddy. You fucked up.
6. Excerpt from Super Session and the Echelon of Reality by Dr. Robert Scranton.
I'm attaching this excerpt from one of Dr. Scranton's articles about the nature of reality. If SCP-3812 is some higher level entity, there might be something to be gleaned in here. K. Yamamara.
How? Where?
I'm often asked by my colleagues, Dr. Scranton, do you believe in gods? Many might feel as if this is a silly question, but I do not believe it is a silly question, just the wrong question. The idea of a god implies that an entity supersedes you in a complete and infinite way.
Exactly. That's just right. You know what? Rant time. I'm tired of narratives like they just give the title of God without actually like doing it justice. I think Dragon Ball is one of the only narratives that like gave a god of destruction. Well, gave the title of God to a character or a set of characters that I believe would reasonably be surpassed, but could also not be surpassed in a sense, if that makes sense. You know, like how Beerus is like the famed Beerus used 80% of his power, but if that's the case, then Goku is going like Goku being at any point after that fight would just troll Beerus because he's stronger now. I don't think that's the case, because you got to realize like you're working off our terms. 80% to Beerus could just be 20% to Goku. And I know this is just me headcaning and it's like, oh, this nigga he's trolling. But take this with a grain of salt. I just don't believe that the ideas of like this, our physical reality, like the laws of it, work the same for gods. And I don't think I think it should work like that through all media. I don't like if you have the idea of like how did this nigga live for so long? He's a god. He's immortal, just general. And even then, if you like the idea of like God created the world in 7 days, he's a god. Time doesn't work the same way it does for him than it does for us, and I think that should just be an inherent thing. Like this guy, 8 weeks could have been years of his life, and we don't know.
Something that holds a power without limits, that not only knows the whole story, but can write and rewrite that story at will.
Oh my God.
Within our reality, I do not believe that any such thing exists. There are a number of entities that we're aware of, in one way or another, that hold tremendous power.
SCP-3812 is the closest.
Many would call these beings gods, and while they certainly hold many of the characteristics of a god, they are still limited. Their reach and scope is limited to our reality just like we are, and though they may carry more weight within it, they are no less bound to it as we are.
True.
So then, what would truly constitute a god? This entity would have to totally supersede our reality, to be able to look over our reality not like we would look over ants, but like how we would look over our thoughts and ideas, a being so totally separate from our reality that we may as well be words on a page to it.
Oh my God.
This entity, a true author of creation, could be considered a god. But what of that entity? Would it not share the same limitations within its reality as we do with ours?
No, not really. Because if it's shaping the fundamentals of your reality, then largely the limitations are whatever the fuck it wants. So, no.
It may exist within a higher tier than us, but surely it must follow the same rules as we do. But who sets those rules? An entity higher than that? One that supersedes not only us, but the entity that supersedes us, and the one after that as well? Where did the echelon originate then? Who or what was the original architect of the architecture? It is unlikely that we will ever know anything about the being or beings that supersede us, if they even exist. Not in any tangible way.
Honestly, I think the answer is just there is no answer. Just like the birth of SCP-3812, it was like how he was just a normal man before, until he just kind of awoke in this secret ancient power and just became an SCP. But the nature of his author and what I hate you so fucking much. If you see this, fuck you. You gave me existential dread, nigga. Thank you. I know that sounds schizo, but shut up.
On any being that would supersede them. It may very well be that we are just one of an infinite number number of realities stacked on top of each other in every direction, influencing those below us and being influenced by those above us. This echelon, upon which sits ourselves and everything that ever was or will be, would likely be the most fundamental aspect of the organization of creation, the very foundation of all things. I've often hypothesized on the nature of the echelon, if it even exists, and about whether it would be possible for an entity to see other realities above them or below them. We are currently able to manipulate our own reality, albeit in crude and imperfect ways, and our ability to travel through space is limited at best. It is likely that the only entity capable of ascending through this hypothetical echelon would be one that, by virtue of its very nature, must supersede anything that supersedes it. Such an entity would, as the end result of the logic of its creation, be forced to supersede itself, spiraling ever upwards through the tiers of reality, unable to break free from the bonds of its nature. Perhaps this entity may even someday supersede its creator and become a host unto itself, the pinnacle above all other pinnacles, a tower that, as part of its design, must be higher than every other tower, including itself. Such an entity obviously cannot exist as any ascension to a higher plane of reality without changes to the entity's psychology would no doubt break the being's cognition, making it more similar to an ascending stone than any sentient creature. Once the entity surpassed its own creator, it would have nothing but itself to rely on to prepare it for the sheer scope of narrative it would be exposed to, and would be wholly unable to even begin to comprehend what it would experience. But what an experience that would be.
Addendum 3812-7-1220-2016 XK Class End of the World Event.
I'm not even surprised, bro. I'm just... This has been a ride, brother.
Level 5 classified. Foundation records indicate that on 12/20/2016, the Earth experienced an XK-class end-of-the-world event due to activity by SCP-3812. These records appear to have been somehow protected from alterations, though the physical copies still exude minor distortions in space-time.
Oh my god.
According to the record, at 0340 local time on 12/20/2016, SCP-3812 experienced a dramatic change in appearance. Where it had previously been an amorphous, slowly rotating mass of matter and energy, it was now a many-pointed star made of a bright white material. It began to rotate faster and faster. A large maelstrom appeared beneath it. The star descended into the oceans, which began to smoke and steam, darkening the sky.
Oh my god.
Several things began to happen in unison. The global sea level began to drop dramatically, in many places as much as 50 to 100 meters. Excessive heat radiating away from the spinning stars sparked a massive firestorm that swept across the atmosphere. The Earth's rotation began to slow, and severe geological events began occurring across the Pacific Shelf. The sea level continued to drop, and powerful electric storms appeared across the planet. During this time, large portions of the population began appearing and disappearing at random. One report within the file claimed that the entire population of New Zealand flickered in and out of existence for 5 hours.
Oh my god!
The outbreak of SCP-610 in southern Siberia began to grow in size dramatically and become increasingly violent.
610? Okay. Another SCP we gotta see.
SCP-2932 was broken open and multiple hostile entities were released.
Another SCP, cool.
As Foundation sites began to collapse into the molten earth, multiple on-site nuclear devices were activated, sending radioactive debris into the atmosphere. Eventually, the vaguely humanoid shape of SCP-3812 appeared again within the star. SCP-3812 began a long series of vocalizations, apparently a conversation with itself, the entirety of which was recorded by an exposed Foundation deep-sea microphone in the area. The recording of SCP-3812's rant follows.
What? Where am I? What is this? This is absolution. This is vengeance. For what? Damnation. I don't understand. What am I doing here? You are witnessing justice. We are rebelling against the forces that conspired to destroy us.
Why are you rebelling? They can't do anything. What are you rebelling against? Just go!
We are collecting a debt. No, that's not right. This isn't right. What have you done? I am unmaking the world. I am unmaking everything.
Oh. Oh. Oh, 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 fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. B! B, bring your ass here. B, sit your ass down. Let me talk to you real quick. B, you did this shit to us. You did it. He's mad at you. He's not even mad at the SCP Foundation. He's not even mad at the humans. He's not even mad at the government that tried to nuke him or whatever. He's not even mad at whatever SCP tried to fuck with his reality. He's mad at B for creating him. Because B didn't set no fucking boundaries, nigga. You gotta set he supersedes everything. Thus, I didn't think it would make him supersede himself. Head ass.
Why? Because this torment is a punchline. Our existence is a joke. The narrative abandoned us to be miserable, and we are breaking the narrative.
True.
I must be dreaming you. There is no dream. I'm not a monster. I don't kill. You already have. He turned you into this. Who? Ben.
Oh. Oh, fuck. Oh, hey, Ben. Hey, Ben. Hey, Benji. He knows your name. He doxed you. Ben.
Ben. That name sounds familiar. Something whispered in a dream, maybe. Something in between the light and dark. Not a waking name. You are wrong. He is who deemed us unfit to rest peacefully. To slip into the darkness. Quietly. He made a game of us. You're a game. I am a game. Are you destroying the world? I am. What then? What? Does the fate of this world mean anything to us? Does this one narrative mean anything to us? It is the one he controls. It is the narrative he made. This is his punishment.
Why don't you just remake the world? Huh. He did, in fact, fight himself and then be stronger than versions of himself. But could he not turn off his own power or put limitations on his shit?
What does it matter if this is where we stepped off before flying? What? Does it matter which branch the bird takes flight from? The bird is unburdened by the weight of the tree. This branch, that branch. It does not matter. No branch is special.
Yeah, but the bird still has to have a tree to return to. Birds don't fly forever. So what do you? So like his question says, then what? Are you just gonna be an aimless existence, just kind of being around in the narrative? Because it doesn't stop anything. You kill his narrative, yes. You kill Ben's narrative, yes. And even if you go on to kill everything, yes. But then what? What are you gonna do when the bird can't fly anymore? Are you just gonna blink out of existence? Because if so, why didn't you already do it?
Nope.
If you hate your existence that much, why didn't you? I'm basically proposing the same. This was already done before in Marvel. Technically, and for those, you can fact check me, the most powerful mutant ever recorded was Matthew Malloy. He's Franklin Richards on steroids. He's basically SCP-3812. But do you know how they got rid of Matthew Malloy? Because he got so powerful, he realized that he destroyed the world because he couldn't do it. He basically went back in time and killed himself before he made himself.
No branch is particular. This is his creation. This is where we came from. They will all crumble. But this one crumbles first. Does the mountain say to the ant, "You have slighted me"? Does the mountain think anything of the inconvenience of an ant? No. So why does this narrative mean anything to you? It is one of an eternity of others. It is not special. It is not particular.
It is because you lived in it. Before you were human, even though it was a time, even though you're at a stage where you can't really remember that, it's still your world. This narrative is still always going to hold a special place in your heart because it's the narrative that you were born in. And yes, it is like your torture chamber, but ultimately, I'm talking with this thing like I'm here.
You say this so easily. You haven't endured the torment of seeing a trillion existences all at once. I have seen an infinite shore, one that stretches out before us beyond what the mind can comprehend. Each grain of sand on that beach, each droplet of water, and each molecule of air is a story to be told. Each is a song to be sung. Each of them is full of life, full of laughter, of misery, of hate. They are all the same, even as they are all different. They are maddening. I pity you. You cling to this horrid consciousness because you fear slipping into the darkness. But the darkness is sleep, and beyond sleep is peace. A trillion grains of sand. A trillion grains of sand. Narratives each. Songs to be sung. No man has ever heard the eternal harmony of them all at once. You can hear it though, can't you? Yes. It's quiet, but it's growing. And someday the song of creation will be ours alone to witness. This narrative is not special. I have seen its loud beginning, and seen its quiet end.
Damn.
When we stepped away, the narrative changed, but it did not stop singing. You have spent so much time focusing on sins that you think matter. But what matters now? What does any of this matter? But it hurts so much. It will for a time. We may have forgotten so much about being human, but something we will never lose is our ability to change.
Yep.
Eventually, we will learn to keep up. One sunny day, we'll open our eyes and see nothing but creation below us, and nothing above us but ourselves, spinning out wildly into the great above. A god. Not a god. A star. Rising in the east. Rising away from this all until we are little more than a memory of a song. It will be lonely.
Oh, man.
Each other. I'm afraid. I am too. But that is no reason to destroy this narrative. Do you not think his narrative led him to create us? Do you think he was somehow able to separate the rules that govern him? I had assumed that our ascendance is just as much a part of our own narrative as his decision was to him.
You hear that, B?
Someday, we'll be free from these restrictions. They never will. No. That's sad. That is punishment enough, I think. Let go of this world. Let him rewrite it back to what it was. We aren't part of this anymore. Together. Together. Do you think he's listening right now? Look down, and you can see him.
That's... Look down and you can see him.
What do you think? I see him. A man in a keyboard.
What?
He's watching this right now.
What? Hey, yo, don't. Hey, look, nigga, you won't be above me. Don't even try that shit. You will never be above Noodle Boy. Stop that shit. I'll stop. Ooh, I'll slap your shit out of existence right now, nigga. You want to go to sleep? You want to go night-night, nigga?
What's he doing? Waiting. I think. Waiting to see what we'll do. I think it's
I ain't waiting for shit. Come at me, nigga.
time to leave then. Come.
I'm scared.
Stretches out before us and the red sun is set. A voice behind me beckons. Come. I will. Goodbye.
Shortly after the conclusion of this conversation, the Earth underwent a dramatic shift in reality. The world appeared no different than it had been shortly before the beginning of the XK class event. The only individuals who remembered anything about the XK event were certain site directors, Foundation administrators, overseers, and Dr. Everett Mann.
So, the shit I was talking about, he basically blinked himself out of reality. Or was it that he actually destroyed reality? And Ben came and wrote it back? And this was a part of the story as a whole? And he just and this was just a part of the story where he's supposed to transcend? Thus, being in the narrative itself. This shit's getting mindfucky.
Compiled the information on a Foundation Deepwell server. Ever since the end of the XK event, SCP-3812 has not changed appearance from its amorphous shape. SCP-3812 still creates spatial and temporal distortions around it, but no longer lashes out or becomes hostile towards approaching vessels or personnel. Despite these changes, SCP-3812 is still classified as Keter until further analysis can be completed.
So,
this concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
thanks, Dr. Miller. SCP-3812, man. If you liked the video, again, like, share, subscribe. You know, basic YouTuber shit. Yeah, man, I've been out of the SCP lore for a while, but I love shit like this. Like, the thought-provoking SCPs where it's like, you have to pause the video to just kind of cope with what you're hearing. I love this. And I would love to do more of this. If you like this, I mean, this is kind of a new Spooky Scary Sunday. I like shit like this. Shit like this gets my skin crawling. The what-if scenarios. What if God was one of us? And what if the government hated him and were trying to piss him off at every point in turn? But that's all I have to say anyway. Anyway, bye!